A very good evening, sir. So my name is Praveen Khanna, and I'm representing Pratham Test Web. With me, we have Amandeep sir. Both of us would be hosting this session for you, and we'll be facilitating you with the questions so that you can answer them according to your own sweet will. To start with this session, boys and girls, very warm welcome to you all. I hope everything is clear with us. So let's start with the session here. Let me help you out with a few things. But before we proceed with this session, let me give a little introduction of our esteemed guest today. So with us, we have Professor Shweta Behel and Professor Ajit Tapar. They are from IIM Rohtak. To give a little introduction about Professor Ajit, he is a faculty member at IIM Rohtak. And when we talk about his research work, his research focuses on brand anthropomorphism. It also talks about, that's right, sir, anthropomorphism. That's what we say, correct, sir. So that's what he is. And he also expertise in marketing management, brand management, advertising, B2B marketing, and experimental research design as well. So very warm welcome, sir. We welcome you for this session.
Thank you very much.
A little introduction about Professor Shweta here. So Professor Shweta, she's again the part of the IIM Rohtak, and she has pursued her FEM in economics from IIM Indore. Her specialization is in microeconomics, labor economics, applied econometrics, and impact evaluation. I hope I've said that right, Professor Ben. Right, thank you. So very welcome to the session here. So with this session, we would be throwing questions at you. So do you have any PPT or something to share before we start with the question, or we can directly go to the questions?
We can go to question and answers.
Absolutely great, sir. So we have accumulated some of the questions here. So let me first start with the first question that comes from the students here. So the first question that comes down here is a very simple question. The question says, why one would be coming for the IPL course here and not somewhere else? Why IIM Rohtak with law, where they specialize in management? So there's a big question which encompasses many other questions. So, sir, if you can help us out with that.
So very first thing is let me also take this opportunity to also let you know that we are the only IIM who are offering law and management program. So BBLLB is the program, and we are the only one who are going to offer. Coming to your point that why IIM Rohtak for a law course, we being a more predominantly a management institute. But then when you look at the phenomena, a lot of legal thing are also absorbed in management or in corporates as well. So it's so there is a lot of opportunity for the students, and there was also opportunity that we identified that okay, we being a management institute, we could provide that kind of management expertise, and also the law, we can bring it together, law and management together, and we can deliver. And that is where our expertise comes in. With management, we are looking forward to take this course forward. As of now, we have 3 batches, 03, and this admission is going to be for the 4th batch. So far, we have got good response, and we look forward to continue this.
Right, correct for that. So there will be many more questions. They'll answer this particular question elaboratively, right? So I'll be throwing this question to both of you. Anyone who feel comfortable for the questions, you may definitely pick those questions there. So another question that comes from the student is, which says that when we talk about teaching pedagogy and the curriculum, what is the entire teaching pedagogy trying to inculcate in a student apart from the course curriculum? What are those special steps that this course would provide them? That's a basic question here.
Okay, so our course structure is like that we not only focus on legal subjects, of course, law subjects are our focus, but then we also focus on personality development, communication skills, management related domains, because, when we were thinking to start this program, we saw that there's a dearth of corporate lawyers as such in our country. So when you become a lawyer, you join a corporation, it's not only about the knowledge of legal domains that you need, sometimes you also need the background information that how this process is working. So that's where this course stands, and doing so, we actually create corporate lawyers. Plus, of course, lawyers are there. So we develop sort of a personality development so that they can communicate, they can put forth their ideas very effectively in the business domain. So that's going to be our focus.
Right.
You want to add something?
Adding to the part where you were talking about the pedagogy part, now predominantly management, we being IIM and we being predominantly into the management, the pedagogy that we follow is multifold. It's not one specific thing, but then there are multiple things. One predominantly that is being followed is the case-based pedagogy, and I guess when it comes to legal studies, cases are also very equally important. So most of the courses and most of our sessions, cases are being discussed. Okay, there is a lot of discussion that happens. That's one thing. Second thing, it's not a one-way delivery, it's two-way kind of delivery.
Right.
Students are more interactive in nature. They pose a lot of questions, they pose a lot of discussion in the class, and our instructors are basically facilitators in the session. And that is where the pedagogy is, our pedagogy is different from any other institute you talk about.
Correct.
So
That definitely makes sense. Right. Right. Aman sir, please.
Yeah.
Sir.
So, sir, in this case, right? So, do the law subjects, I mean, are they introduced in the first year itself, or is it that we first work on the base a bit, and then from maybe second or third year onwards, the law subjects are introduced?
No, we introduce fundamental law subjects from the first year itself, like law of torts is introduced in the first year. But then fourth and fifth year will predominantly focus on law subjects. In the initial 3 years when they are doing their BBA also. So the focus is also on the management subjects.
Okay. And one more query we had was that can a student opt out of the course after the completion of 3 years, or no? So
No, there's no exit
So
plan.
this is an integrated program. BBL is an integrated program, and as such, there is no exit option which is available to the students here.
right.
Degree itself is BBA LLB, which you get after you finish 5 years, successfully finish 5 years.
Right. We understand it, sir. So there has been I mean, I'm getting the queries where the students are saying that if you can mix the language, Hindi and English both, for the convenience of the students as well, so that we can cater to both the audiences, right? ठीक है, हम आपके लिए हिंदी में ही बात करेंगे ताकि सबको समझ में आ सके बातें. That's what we are talking about. Okay. Sir, one of the questions that comes down here is, which is a pertinent question. They say that 5 years is a pretty long time to decide on anything. And the course curriculum is a rigid course curriculum because one would not have much time to experiment much of the things with it. So the question that comes down here is, how does this course imbibe a resilience factor that one can predict after 5 years?
Again, through our courses, through our instructors who are available on campus, also if a student faces any issues. And then we have subjects where, they'll be focusing on presentation skills, they'll be focusing on managing their other dimensions also. So that's how, I mean, there's no directly, as such, we do not directly intervene in this aspect, but from various dimensions, from the support of the faculty, from the support of administration, we
Okay.
try.
Right. So,
If I can
please.
add,
Sure, sir.
if I can add, I guess your question itself answers, because the 5 years, yes, it is a long time. 5 साल एक लंबा समय होता है. At the same time, the rigor which is there, okay, the very rigor of a program, जिस हिसाब से मेहनत करते हैं बच्चे, because of that मेहनत that they do, the rigor and the hard work they put in, they develop a resilience in the 5 years time. So I guess that's what makes it different.
Also, मतलब सिर्फ ये नहीं है कि पढ़ाई हो रही है, we have different societies also in which they can participate. Cultural society है, पूरी उसमें movies के ऊपर बातचीत होती है. So students they not only are studying but they also are indulge in other activities which make them to go for 5 years.
Correct. So to sum up your pointer, the one that you talked about is, यहाँ पे बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, जैसे क्लब्स हो गए, सोसाइटीज हो गया, प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपोजर हो गया, थ्योरेटिकल अंडरस्टैंडिंग हो गई, केस हो गया, ये सारी चीजें अपने आप में मिलाकर एक स्टूडेंट को इतना स्ट्रांग बना देती है कि किसी भी परिस्थिति में वो अपने आप को एक चैलेंजिंग पोजीशन कर सकता है. करेक्ट. So I hope students, for all those who are here and for all the students who are still not here, this session would also be available for the YouTube session. So इस session के बाद कुछ दिनों के बाद YouTube पे भी आएगा. So stay tuned for that case as well. So that was a great idea. So I think we got the information piece. Aman sir, there was another question that was coming to you. If you can throw a question, please.
Right. So another thing is that when we look at the selection criteria, right? So students who are interested in the program, right? So एक तो सवाल है कि क्या CLAT के through is it possible for them to apply through the CLAT itself? And if yes, and other than that, what are the other options जो students के लिए application process के लिए, if you can throw some light on that as well.
So there are two options. One which you have mentioned, CLAT. So once they give their CLAT exam, they can register, and registration is open for those people who have appeared for CLAT. Next is through IPMAT. So we also conduct our entrance examination, which is specific for IPL program for IIM Rohtak. So that's what they can do. They can, if they have not appeared for CLAT, they can appear for that exam, and then they can register accordingly. So but after that, there will be an interview.
Interview as well.
Okay, there's a follow-up question to this. Sir, you wanted to say something, please.
Yeah,
No.
I just wanted to add, like in IPMAT is also for the other program IPM, but
Right.
for IPMAT for law program, there is an additional section
Yeah.
which deals with the legal aspects. So the students also have to appear in addition to the other parts. They also are going to appear. So those who have opted for IPMAT for IPL program through IPMAT, they will be also appearing for an additional legal course. That is the one additional section they will be appearing for.
Okay, and so what would be the weightage for the entrance exam and the interview?
Okay, I guess that's more of a dynamic because it depends on the pool of the students and everything. But then you will have to track our websites for those details and all.
Okay.
So, and definitely once the shortlisting happens, you'll come to know about those things
Sure.
eventually.
Right. So there is a follow-up question to the same thing, where you said that you would also be taking a CLAT and you will also be taking an IPMAT. Both the scores are of different denominators and different calibers and different aspects. So how do we calibrate the two papers? If somebody would have done CLAT and somebody would have done IPMAT, how calibrate the two papers to say that this is better and this is not? How would we do that?
I guess it's more of a shortlisting because once the shortlisting happens, then the rest of the things are there.
So we do not as such compare the scores of IPMAT and CLAT. And like Sir said, there's an additional section in IPMAT which deals with the law aspect. So that's how we try to make them comparable. But as such, it's not that the same marks would be applicable for CLAT and IPMAT cutoff. It's not like that. They'll have different cutoffs.
Sure. So,
Okay.
so in a way, sorry, Praveen sir. So in a way, what we are trying to understand, what we are saying is that it is more like application based, right? Wherein a student will apply for the exam, and then we will also have a look at his educational, background, how well he did in maybe in his class 10th, 12th, and the interview. After that, right, basis on all of this, right, we reach that point that whether he'll be okay, right, great.
Yes, so there's a comprehensive score based
Comprehensive.
on 10, 12, CLAT, IPMAT, and then interview, and based on that shortlisting.
Right.
And
Brilliant.
also, most of the time, what students also do is if they feel that their CLAT score is low, probably
Right.
they will not qualify and so on, they also try to appear in IPMAT exam. So that to increase their chances, if any, means if they are able to do well, because now because CLAT exam has already happened. They
बिल्कुल
were
और
easy during their 12th and all, they were not able to focus and so on.
right.
But here, this exam is going to happen somewhere in the month of May. So
Right.
there's enough time for the students to prepare for,
Right.
and they can prepare and they can also appear. So if
Right.
they're not able to qualify through CLAT, they can also try and qualify through IPMAT exam.
So that is what my question here, which is again a follow for that idea. Say, for example, if I've appeared for the CLAT and you said that if the student believes that his score is not good, how would I know that my score is good or not for an IP MAT for IIM Rohtak? In that time, I do not apply for it, because then only perhaps I would get to know whether my score is eligible for it or not. So what is the parameter for that?
I guess that's what I told. They try to increase the chances. See, because shortlisting and all is going to happen in the month of May only.
Correct.
Not May, June. Somewhere around June, you'll come to know about your results, shortlisting for the interviews and so on. So till that time, probably you would not be able to come to.
Right.
And therefore, to increase the chances, some students, they also try to appear. And the other thing, you can also look into the past history, what has happened. Probably that may be one of the look into. But then, as I mentioned, that keeps on changing.
Right. So, boys and girls, I hope you would have got one picture here. That CLAT score, whatever that you've got, it's recommended that you should also be appearing for the IP MAT, because your probability in that particular pool that increases. When you do have two tests, you never know which test would be taken in there and which one would have a higher score. So that you would get to know once you do have a more balls in the same pool. So that would make sense. That's a good idea. I mean, that's a good idea, and perhaps a second opportunity for a student to appear for a test as well, right? So that would definitely make sense. So there was another question that was coming down here is when you said that there are societies and clubs and committees. Now, which club, committees, or societies are there? Number one. Number two, when we talk about these club, committees, or societies, how do they help a student's candidature to grow?
Okay, so we have MUN Society, Moot Society,
Art and Culture
Art
Society,
and Culture
Sports
Society.
Club is there, Sports Society is there,
Mhm.
and Academic Committee is there.
Academic Committee.
Right. So what happens
We
is,
might be missing one or two here.
Right, that generally no issue.
like in IIMs, a lot of activities are student-driven activity.
Right.
Right. So all the activity that happens is all student-driven. So the faculty interaction or the faculty is not involved in any of these activities. It's all students who are conducting these things. Right from inducting new students or the new batch of students which come in, or new member into the society, are also inducted by, selected and inducted by the student themselves.
Students only, correct.
Right. So, and once they are part of this societies, every society has their own planning. They plan different events, they plan, they reach out to the people, right sort of people, and so on. So everything happens, all the activities are student driven, and institute is just a platform which provides a facilitation. So wherever they need some support, the institute provides that. But majority of the things are taken by students. And this is where, because when they start taking initiatives, they do things on their own, the students become proactive, and they also learn a lot through organizing all these things.
Yeah, it gives them sense of responsibility. They develop leadership skills. They develop how to, give a proposal, how to plan an activity, how to execute an activity, how to invite external partners. So they learn.
Be a team member. At times they would be leading. At times they would be part of the team, and so on.
So I have one more query ready to this. I think one of the most important committees at a law school is the internship committee, right? Because internships play a huge part for these
Yes,
5 years,
So
right?
we
So
have internship committee, yeah.
okay.
Sorry, we forgot to name that, yeah.
Okay, and do the college also takes that initiative to ensure that the students get to intern with these top firms or these good corporate houses?
Yes, facilitation is all provided, support is all provided, but then as I mentioned, student has to drive the things.
Right.
And students are active enough and they have been driving things pretty well.
Okay.
With internship, I would also like to add we have some different structure in internship, because they are 5 year long program,
Mhm.
different internship as well. Right. So the very first year, when the first year finishes, they get into a rural or a social internship.
Right.
So that's the very first internship that too. Then in the next year, follow-up year, the second year, after second year, when they are there, they do a business internship, right? Then the third year, when it happens, then they get into a legal side of internship. Again, so moot court is there, legal internships are there, both, and the following year again is a legal internship. So there would be two internship, one rural social, one business, the other, and the two would be
So
legal.
are they, so are they doing one internship? If I'm getting it right, are they doing one internship in the year, or are they doing two internships after their exams?
Every year they are doing one internship,
Okay, one internship they're doing every year.
every
Okay,
year.
okay,
Apart from that, they also do project. So they do every year they are conducting two projects.
okay,
Okay, so these are predominantly research-based projects.
right.
Okay, so they choose a topic. These topics are more contemporary topic as well, or based upon their interest where they want to build upon. So it may these topics are mostly in the business and legal domain,
Right.
right? So they work upon this topic. So every year they do two research projects under the mentorship of faculties.
Okay.
Right, sir.
That is additional
Mhm.
exposure that they get apart from the internships.
Internship.
Right. What I can see here is that's a 360-degree approach because rural, social, business, legality. So you do have everything encompassing here. So when we talk about this rural internship, can you throw some light on that, a minute or two, where we can understand? Because that sounds so interesting and intriguing at this moment.
Okay, so like sir said, after first year they go for rural or social internship where they choose an NGO and then they work with that particular NGO. We prefer if that NGO is working in rural areas, but otherwise if they're working in urban areas also, that's fine, but it has to be an NGO. So then they identify one management related or legal related issue with that firm, and then they try to address that, they try to give solutions, and then they submit a report on what they have done in that internship to their faculty mentor, and then based on the report faculty mentor they evaluate that. In the second year they go for a management internship where they go for a management firm, like our students have been to Ernest & Young, Aditya Birla Group, these kind of Indian Oil Corporation. So they go to these firms. Again, they identify one problem and then they try to give the solutions. Again, they submit a report. Third year, they go for a legal firm. So our students have gone to Kocher and Company, DLS law offices. Again, where they try to learn some aspect related to maybe drafting or identifying the issue or framing the arguments. So they learn these things and then again they submit a report to their faculty mentor. So fourth year and fifth year we are yet to see that, but that's going to be the process for the fourth and fifth year as well.
So for this entire thing that I see is student will not have time for himself, but he'll have time, everything to do anything for himself, but not for himself. राइट सो सब कुछ अपने लिए करने के लिए उसके पास समय होगा मगर अपने लिए समय नहीं होगा आई होप दैट्स व्हाट वी आर अज्यूमिंग हियर बिकॉज दिस इज द रिग्रेस एक्सरसाइज अगर इतनी रिग्रेस और डिसिप्लिन से नहीं चलेंगे तो आगे भी डिसिप्लिन शायद फॉर्मुलेट ना हो पाए so kudos sir I believe that
the management institute also, so we have seeds of management institute, so we try to discipline them from the very first year itself.
And by the way, I would like to also add one more thing, probably we missed out telling it earlier. We also have yoga sessions for the students,
right
which are mandated. Okay, so every morning they have this yoga session, and I believe to a great extent these yoga sessions are also beneficial for them.
And I think
Keeping their
they are highly
mind and body in shape. Okay, across the 5 years.
Yeah, and I think they are highly beneficial for lawyers, especially, right? The kind of field they have chosen, right? I think it should be like very helpful for them. Law,
Correct. And I hope once
budding
they
lawyers.
pass out from here, they continue the yoga. They do not just give up on that.
And so here I also have one more question, which is that what if a student, right, who is interested in interning with a trial court lawyer or who wants to do a judicial clerkship, right? So do we also have that with these options, or like they have to apply for these on their own? how does that work if they have to? So, for example, a student in his, say, second or third year, he doesn't want to go and intern at a law firm, but he wants to go and intern with a trial court or a high court lawyer, right? So, is there an option for that as well?
They can do that, and yeah, there's no restriction on that, but I think it would be more of a student driven activity, since as an institute we cannot approach individuals for internships.
Right.
So if student comes up with a proposal, we are okay with it.
And again, but it would not happen in the first 2 years. It would only
Right.
happen in the
The
later
third year.
third year onwards, third year, fourth
Third
year.
year onwards, okay. So the discussion also is there after third year. Also, sir, do we also have any uh, tie-ups with foreign universities, or do you have guest lectures from professors who are coming from somewhere else? Because a lot of Indian law universities, right, they have foreign tie-ups as well, where students can go abroad and do one semester there, and then they can come back and continue here. So, do we have any such tie-up here as well?
So we have something other way around. So we are inviting foreign faculties to visit our institute. Okay, and
They teach an entire
and they
course.
teach
Okay.
an entire course at our institute. We facilitate everything for the foreign faculties, and we have in our IPL program. So far in the first 3 years, we have 20 plus foreign faculties coming to our course and teaching various courses to the students. So we invite foreign faculties over here to teach the courses. So that's one thing. Second thing, as of now, we do not have any exchange program.
Okay.
So that exchange program is not there, but also economically, I don't think so. It's not feasible.
Right.
We do not have any other programs as well.
Also, ours is not a semester-based program. What we have is 3 terms in 1 year. So it's a trimester-based
Right.
program. So sometimes it becomes very difficult for us to, even connect with the foreign university because of this time issue. They
Okay.
do for
Right.
semester one, we go for trimester one. So
Trimester.
that's another issue.
But then exposure, I guess students get multiple exposure because we had faculties coming from Europe, we had faculties coming from US, we had faculty coming from Australia,
Middle East.
so Middle East. So we had almost across the globe, we had faculties coming from. So a very good exposure student gets here itself, being in campus. They do not have to travel for that.
Okay. Right, sir. So what we can understand is there are professors from different universities who are coming down here instead of students going in there. So these faculty members, would they come down under the committees, clubs, or being organized by the faculty members?
No, this is something which IPL office and IPL
Officer.
chairs
Mhm.
will do. The
Correct, correct.
students-
It will
So
be
that's
a
the part.
curriculum.
Curriculum.
That's a part of the curriculum. Cool enough. So there's one question that is coming from the student. Yes. Now he says that everything is going technological, and with the technological advancement, what kind of a technological association that we have with IPL?
Okay.
So I think the student wants to know that as technology is growing and the artificial intelligence is growing up in a long way, how is this course also growing with the help of that? That's perhaps the question here.
I guess it's a wonderful question, and I guess we also have thought of right in the beginning, because right from our term one, okay, right from the term one, we have courses which talks about IT systems and so on. So our students, they are not just specializing in legal and business, but they also get a flavor of introduction to IT system, introduction to programming, introduction to data analytics, and
Right.
so on. So these also courses are very much part and parcel of our course. Not only this thing, there are certain mathematical courses as well, which would be required for them to go in the first year, some second year as well, statistics related course, mathematical. So which helps them to build their even acumen in programming and so on. So there are a lot of tools also our students are exposed to, like Python and other tools that they are having. So these tools also they are exposed to through these courses, that helps them in their research work as well. So they are doing a lot of research projects. So it is also helpful in their research projects, and it is also helpful to understand all other domains because they are on top of all these things.
Right. So I hope students have got the picture there that whatever that you're thinking of is already a part of the course, right? It's just that you'll have to experience this and go to the website. On the website, they have beautifully mentioned everything there, the entire course curriculum, the admission process, the clubs, the committees, the kind of development that you would have, everything has been provided there. So it's a recommendation that all the students should actually go through that website once and see for it how the things are. You get the first hand experience there as well. So there's another question that has come from the student here, and what he's trying to ask is, okay, he says that do you provide any assistance for the research work and the higher studies if somebody wants to stay in academics with respect to the law?
Right. I guess here we will be providing a platform for the student, right? And I guess the research projects and that they do in the 5 years, they get sufficient exposure so as to decide at the end of 5 years if he wants to decide to be in academics, he want to pursue masters in the LLM and then go on to pursue PhD. The student is very much welcome to do that. That's one thing. Second thing, as we mentioned, there are a lot of foreign faculties also which are coming here. Then the students also continue their association. They try to work on their
Right.
projects with these foreign faculties. And if they have any opportunity with the foreign faculties where they're working, the faculties they're working, even they can explore those options. So the institute provides a platform, and it is up to the students how best they can utilize this platform for their benefits and development.
Lovely. So, Bajukas, I hope you would have got one picture what Professor Sir has brilliantly been mentioning about a concept called networking. So, more and the better your networking is, you would have more opportunity to go for it, right, sir? I'm sure, sir, networking is the key factor, the one that we are talking about here.
Absolutely.
Right. Amadis, sir, you had a question.
Right. So there is this another query, and where students are asking, could you please throw some light on the preparation for the IP Math entrance exam? So if you could share some thoughts on that.
Okay. I mean personally I don't think it's a right platform, but I think information is available on our website. A student can go there and check. There'll be different sections in IPMAT entrance exam related to logical reasoning, quantitative aptitude, English, and then for if you are appearing for IPL, so there'll be legal reasoning.
So, ma'am, let me ask you a follow-up question to this. Do we have the student committees or the student representatives who might be working for the outreach for IIM Rohtak? Is there a group that would help students out in what should be the IPMAT paper? How should one be preparing for it?
In this part, we do not have, I don't think so. We are having that kind of,
Okay.
but I guess students they keep on posting queries, and then there are a lot of answers around talking about the exam pattern, and what all things.
And I think if they search on YouTube, there will be many videos from our
Right.
students only who are guiding them what to prepare, how to prepare, or and other issues.
Right, lovely for it. Ma'am, there was another question that was coming for you, which said that in terms of selecting a student, what skill sets or what kind of a candidature are we looking for? Are we looking for a student who would be academically excellent? Because there are some students who might not have excellent academics. Now, how should one work towards the profile? He says that I'm 60-70%. That's what I have. I don't have much of the profile. What should be done now?
Okay, so it's something that we judge a person on a holistic basis. So it's not only academics, we have other dimensions also. Of course, academics is one of the important dimensions, but the other dimensions related to co-curricular or extra co-curricular activities if the student has been engaged in during the school time, or how is his or her leadership skills, how well he or she communicates, put forward their opinions. So, based on these many dimensions, we come up with a score, comprehensive score. So it's not only academics, but other things as well.
Yeah, I guess there are many other things. It's a component, many things that we look into. But then one additional part that I would also like to mention, because our course is very rigorous.
Right.
Right? So we would also look for candidates who are ready to put in efforts. Right. So that is, I guess, in addition to what Professor Shweta had mentioned, that is also very important for us. because unlike some other courses which are just 1 or 2 years program, this particular course is a 5-year program, 5-year long program. So we also look forward for students who are ready to put in effort, and so go a long way along with this program.
Right. Aman, so you had a question, right?
And students also want to know about the placements. I mean, so I'm sure the students have their own body and like for internships, and I'm sure it's the same for the placements as well. And I mean, we are still maybe into our fourth year of law program here.
Now they will
now they'll enter.
राइट सो आई थिंक जो एक बार बार जो सवाल आता है वो ये आता है कि व्हाट इज द प्लान राइट सो द कॉलेज मस्ट हैव थॉट समथिंग अबाउट द placements as well, so anything you want to share on that aspect, on that regard?
I guess we already mentioned that there is already an internship committee who is in place. So there are already a group of students who are already working in that direction. So that is already in place, and they'll be working through, and they are assisting other students as well and getting the entire batch placed. So that is one thing which is already in place. Yeah, you're correct, because we are still in our 3 years have been passed, so we have not seen our final students passing out and placing out. So that we are yet to see. But we are very much helpful. All the support required is being provided by the institute, and our student group are very active.
Right.
And we hope to get good results on that.
Right.
Okay. Now there was a question here, sir. The question says, sir, is this course running in a Gurgaon campus, or is it IIM Rohtak now?
It's the IIM Rohtak
I'm on
campus.
the campus.
It's going
Right.
to be here, yes.
So this 2024, we're going to start at the IIM Rohtak campus, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then, sir, there is another question to this. Has any student got an opportunity where he can come to the IIM Rohtak and go for a tour with someone to look at the campus, how the campus looks like, how does the aura of the campus looks like? Do we have an opportunity for the student to come down there?
Probably to focus.
Yeah, so we'll be having interviews, most probably, though we are not committing anything at this moment, but most probably interviews will be happening at IIM Rohtak campus. So
Okay.
then student will
Right.
have an opportunity to come here and look at our campus. Beyond that, I do not think we have that.
Even we can have a virtual tour, because on YouTube we have videos about our
Yes.
campus. So
Okay. We have a virtual tours there, right, sir?
yeah,
That's
so
the
that is there. So I'm on the campus. You can have a look at the campus on our YouTube as well.
So with that, Professor Well, I get a hint that the interview would not be an online interview; it will be a campus interview.
Probably that's what we do not commit anything.
Yes,
as of now.
Okay.
that is right.
Right.
The
Right.
last
Because
two interviews were online, but we are hoping that this year there'll be offline interviews.
okay. So boys and girls, please make sure that you look at the website regularly. The website would be updated every now and then, and the final thing would also be displayed in there. How would the paper like? What percentage of paper value would be taken? What percentage of interview value would be taken? Everything would be mentioned on the website, right? This is an information piece. This session is primarily for all those students who are looking for the information piece beyond what has been given on the websites on the YouTube. So we are hearing it from the horse's mouth, and they are providing us with an insight about that. So some of the last questions to start with, and one of the last questions, the one that we're talking about, is balancing between theoretical understanding and a practical understanding. What percentage do we have with respect to the practical exposure vis-a-vis the theoretical understanding?
I would say, yeah,
It's a balance.
Yeah, it's a 50-50, because in our subjects, like sir mentioned earlier, that we have a case-based approach. So we teach one concept and then we go with the case study, like this happened in the real life. Now, how are you going to solve this issue based on your theoretical knowledge? So in one session, they'll get the theoretical aspect and the practical aspect as well, complementary to whatever internships they'll be doing in the 5 years. But every session is mix of theoretical and practical knowledge.
And the students throughout the courses, they would also learn the application orientation as well.
Right.
So that orientation, I guess, very much is important. So at one end, they are also learning about theory, and also they are also exposed to through case studies, through every other things about what has actually happened, right? So that application orientation is also developed along with the process.
We have access to various databases where they can get access to case studies, they can see what happened, what judgment was passed, how the judgment was reached. So this is
So
something
it's
which is
not,
available.
yeah, it's not just the national database, we have also have international database.
International data.
Right, right. Right. So there are the repeated questions that I'm getting here. So just 30 seconds, let me explain this to the students here. So what Professor Sirs are trying to help us out here with is the entire process. How would that go? That would obviously be given in the website as well. But what they said is there are different parameters to look into. It is not just the profile that they'll be looking into. They'll also be looking into the profile. But there's something known as a written test, the test that you're going to appear for IP Man. There's something going to be the interview. That's something going to be a class 10th and 12th as well, which would be the part of the profile as well, right? So there are many elements that would be seen in here. So it does not matter if you have not done anything great in the past. प्लीज मेक श्योर दैट यू परफॉर्म वेल इन द पेपर नाउ. आपके पास अपॉर्चुनिटी अभी भी है. तो जो पास्ट अपॉर्चुनिटी आपने लॉस्ट कर लिया है उस पर कुछ नहीं करना है, बट आगे आप क्या गेन कर सकते हैं, दैट इज व्हाट मोर इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर द स्टूडेंट्स हियर. सो बस इस चीज को प्लीज ध्यान रखिएगा. दैट्स व्हाट प्रोफेसर सर हैव राइटली एंड ब्यूटीफुली मेंशन दिस. तो इस चीज को आप कंटिन्यू कर सकते हैं, राइट. अमन सर, एनी ऑफ द लास्ट क्वेश्चंस फॉर द प्रोफेसर सर? आई एम श्योर वी हैव ऑलरेडी ओवरशॉट द टाइम हियर.
Right. So there's one more question. So students are asking that the internship period, because it's a trimester you guys have here, right? So what is the internship period, right? Is it for 1 month, or the students can extend it further, right? In case they have been offered good interning opportunities, right? So is there an option to extend that, right, from 1 month to maybe a 2 month period, or like the period is clearly
We have 4 weeks of internship.
4 weeks of
4 weeks of internship in a year, right? So that's what the okay, great, right.
Right. So I think that was a part from the things I saw, because you've already mentioned anything and everything here. Boys and girls, one last words that please make sure that you regularly visit the website. And here, Professor Sirs have actually talked about this complete picture. What the things are, what are the requirements for this particular paper, and they've also talked about that how would IPL help you out in the near future, right? आई थिंक मैंने आपके बिहार पे स्टूडेंट्स ऑलरेडी प्रोफेसर सर से क्वेश्चन पूछ चुके हैं कि आपका प्लेसमेंट्स कैसा होगा. ये अमन सर ने पूछा, मैंने ही पूछा. सर ने, क्योंकि किसी भी चीज को ऐसे प्रिडिक्ट नहीं कर सकते, दैट डिपेंड्स ऑन द स्टूडेंट्स. जैसे सर ने साफ साफ बोला है, प्रोफेसर सर हैज राइटली मेंशन इन दैट, इट मेनली डिपेंड्स ऑन द स्टूडेंट्स, राइट. तो क्या लर्निंग आपने की है वो इंपॉर्टेंट है, रेदर देन द कोर्स क्यूरिकुलम. दैट्स हाउ दैट वन इज सपोज्ड टू गो फॉर. सर, एनी ऑफ द लास्ट कमेंटिंग, एनी लास्ट कमेंट्स और your wise words which students can carry from this session?
One thing I would always, because I have already mentioned one thing, and if you're looking forward for IPL program, we are looking forward also to host you over here. But then please keep in mind the program is very rigorous. We would require you 100%, I would say more than 100% to put it into the program. And that will help you to take a very long way. So that is very much important. So it's a very rigorous program, unlike other places. So first 3 years or 3.5 years, they do not go anywhere else and so on, and they are very much a part of this program.
But then since it's a residential program,
Right.
you'll get hostels inside the campus. I'm sure you will enjoy also this part, because classes usually ends by, I mean, latest they end by 5:20. So post that you are free. During first, second year, you'll have a lot of activities planned. So you'll take part, you'll celebrate all the festivals here. So it will be a fun journey also.
So boys and girls, I am sure Professor Ma'am has actually helped us out with 5:30 के बाद का टाइम आपका फ्री होगा, मगर सुबह 5 बजे उठ के योगा जरूर करना होगा, right? So that was a good idea.
Happens in the first year student for yoga, but from second year onwards, they start looking forward.
Looking forward to
When
it.
Participating.
extreme cold, we thought of we'll not have yoga classes, but there were requests coming to us that we want to do yoga in the morning. So this
Lovely.
joining this.
Lovely. तो
program.
सुबह 5 बजे का टाइम कॉलेज लेगा, शाम को 5 बजे का बाद का टाइम आपका है. डिसाइड करें हाउ प्रोडक्टिवली डू यू यूज इट, राइट? When we talk about recreation, that should also be a productive recreation and not a wastage of a recreation activity. Right, sir. Professor Sirs, that was a great interaction with you, and I'm sure our students would have definitely helped the things out with it. Thank you, Professor Archit, sir, Professor Shweta ma'am. Both of you have actually helped us out in understanding what this paper is all about and how to understand the IPL as a course. So we would be more than happy to take you on board again sometime next, where you help us out with our students. And that was an enlightening session for us. I mean, sir, any departing words for Professor Sirs here?
Thank you so much for being here, sir, and thank you for sharing all the knowledge with our students.
Right. Thank you, Professor. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so
Namaskar, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.